There are places that just feel wrong the moment you step foot on them. This happened a few years ago, and honestly, I still can't fully explain it. I don't talk about it much, because people tend to look at me like I'm crazy. But I know what happened, and I know what I felt. My family rented a multi-unit Airbnb in a tiny beach town off Highway 1 for my dad's birthday. It was positioned right near an ocean cliffside. We arrived around midnight, and the moment I stepped out of the car, an overwhelming sense of dread hit me. My brother felt it too, a heavy, suffocating vibe. But it was late. We were in an unfamiliar place, so we blamed it on travel fatigue and went to sleep. The next morning revealed just how strange this property was. It was breathtakingly beautiful, but I felt deeply unsettled. There was a hobbit-style structure built into a hill with a handwritten "Do Not Enter" sign. There was a massive, locked barn the host told us to stay out of. And then there was the layout. My brother and I were in the smallest unit. My parents and 2 family friends were in the largest, and the last unit sat completely empty. Things started getting weird immediately. My dad and his friend were walking the grounds when they noticed something in the high window of the locked barn. It was a figure, completely motionless. Thinking it was a coat rack or a tarp, they walked right up to the barn to get a better look. But when they realized the barn was only 1 story, meaning nothing should have been able to reach that high window, they stepped back to look again. The window was completely empty. No figure. Nothing. All the doors were deadbolt. Later that day, we went into town. I don't normally wear jewelry due to sensory issues, but in a small local shop, I felt an intense, undeniable pull toward a large jade bracelet. The storekeeper told me jade was a protection stone. I put it on immediately. I didn't know it then, but I was going to need it. That night, the property's dark energy became impossible to ignore. My dog, who has severe separation anxiety and never leaves my side, absolutely refused to step foot into the unit my brother and I were sharing. He would just stand outside in the dark, staring in at me. When I forced him inside, he frantically scratched at the door until I let him out. I was sitting on the couch, which faced a large sliding glass door overlooking the cliffside. The darkness outside felt heavy. I felt like I was being watched. My brother and I even went outside with flashlights to check, only to find my dog had run off to my parents' unit and had been there for 30 minutes. Whatever I felt watching me, it wasn't my dog. The next night, things escalated from creepy to a total nightmare. I was up much later than my brother. It was 2 a.m. The feeling of being watched was so intense that I locked every door and wedged a broom handle into the sliding glass door track. The layout of the unit was strange. My bed was in an open loft area, right at the top of the stairs, completely exposed to the floor below. I was in bed, scrolling on my phone, when I heard it. Footsteps downstairs. But they weren't heavy. They were small, childlike. It sounded like a little kid skipping or dancing through the kitchen. Then came the metal. It sounded like someone dragging a metal utensil across the surfaces downstairs. Dragging, turning into tapping. I was frozen. I hadn't heard a single door open or a lock turn. Whatever was down there had been locked inside with us. Then, the worst possible thing happened. I shifted my weight, and my phone slipped off the bed. The tapping stopped instantly, and then I heard those tiny footsteps sprinting up the stairs toward me. I grabbed my pillow, threw it over my face, and just started whispering, "Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me." The footsteps stopped right next to my bed, and then I felt pressure. Something was pressing down hard on my pillow, right over my face. I couldn't move. I don't know if I froze from pure terror or if something was physically holding me down, but I eventually blacked out. I woke up the next morning in complete shock, with no memory of how the night ended. I ran to my parents' unit, only to find out I wasn't the only one who had a terrifying night. My dad had moved to their couch because he was snoring. A few hours later, my mom woke up and saw what she thought was my dad standing motionless at the foot of her bed. She asked what he was doing, but the figure didn't respond. It just watched her. She screamed. My real dad ran into the room, and the shadow figure vanished into thin air. My dad then confessed he hadn't slept at all. He had spent the entire night listening to heavy, adult-sized footsteps pacing through their unit, stopping right behind him. We are a family of skeptics. We don't make things up, but there was one piece of physical evidence none of us could explain. My new jade bracelet, the one I bought for protection just 24 hours prior, had changed. A massive section of the light green stone had turned a deep, unnatural, pitch black. We tried washing it, thinking it was dirt or oil, but the color change was deep inside the stone itself. In some spiritual circles, they say a protection stone turns black when it absorbs a massive amount of negative energy. I don't know exactly what happened on that cliffside, but a secluded property, an unprotected cliff, a menacing adult presence pacing around my parents, and a child's presence terrified and running to me. I try not to think about the conclusion I came to, but deep down, I know that whatever property we rented that weekend, it held the memory of something incredibly evil. And I most certainly believe in the paranormal now.